What's going on, everyone? I just wanted to stop by real quick before this podcast starts and say you should like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on all my social medias at John D. Klauser. It's literally the same name as the name that you subscribe to on this YouTube channel. So enjoy this clip, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
Whenever me and my mom have like a serious conversation about my sexuality, and it's not talking about who I like or who I have a crush on, it's talking about the actual opinion of the matter, my mom's always like, you don't know if you're bisexual because you've never been on dates or kissed anyone or held hands or been in any sort of romantic relationship with anyone, so how could you know? And when she says that, I'm like, okay, so how do I know I feel this way towards Anna Kendrick? Or why did I have that type of dream about Lauren? Or why in the frick did I watch the TikTok of Holly in the leggings 3 or 4 times a day for 2 or 3 days?
Welcome to The John Show with your host, John Doogie Klauser.
All right. Okay, we are here on a new episode of The John Show, and I'm your host, John D. Klauser. What's going on, guys? Everything I feel like is a little discombobulated a little bit tonight. So, like I said, we're here. We're excited. Are you excited? Because I'm excited to do this great show for you. All right. Well, anyway, so what are we on? This is episode 54. Like I said, I'm John D. Klauser. What's up, guys? If you are new, I want to say welcome. If you are a returning guest, I want to say thank you so much for coming back. Yeah. What's up? How are you? So I'm here. Just sipping on a little tequila, some Sauza. It's like the cheapest tequila that Walmart has. That's what I got this week. I don't know why. I don't know why I got on this kick of drinking tequila. I don't know why I did that. And like now I'm almost over it, and I'm almost like I think after I finish this bottle, I think I'm gonna move on to something different because something that's a little bit more healthy. It's just. Every time I drink it a little bit, I'm like, it's not going to hurt me because this is all I'm going to be drinking tonight. You see how much that's in that? It's like that much. It's not that much. It's hardly anything. If anything, it's just going to give me a quick little buzz, enough to get me through the show, and then that's it. Like, what's so funny? I'm making it seem like I can't do this podcast unless I have my tequila. Now, I just thought it'd be a cool thing to introduce, but then now I'm like, okay, well, it was kind of cool for a second, but I rather spend my time and if I'm going to consume something, I'm going to consume something a little bit better. Even though, I don't know. Like I said, it's really not that much. But I have these little plastic containers, and then you fill it up with water, and it gives like these little square ice cubes, and they're really good for like cocktails and stuff like that. And it makes you look a little bit fancy. So that's what. Can you hear that? But yeah, so we're here. I'm good. I'm doing well. If you're wondering how I'm doing, I asked how you guys are doing. Now it's time to talk about me and all the things that are important about me now. So I'm good. I'm doing great. I'm doing swell. So I guess apparently I'm going to be getting my shot on the 14th, which I believe is Friday. So my second COVID shot, and yeah, again, like nothing so far. Nothing bad. A couple, I would say maybe, I'd say 6 days after I got the first shot, I would say that I had a little bit of upset, in my geo tract, my stomach. It was a little upset for a couple days, but that was about it. After that, then it hasn't been anything else. But I was waiting for it. I'm like, I didn't feel like the first couple of days like a lot of people did. I'm like, it's gonna happen eventually. There's gonna be a day here where I'm gonna feel a little under the weather in some way. And it was that. And it was it's for me. It's always ebb and flows. It's okay, for a wave for about 20 minutes, I don't feel that good, and then it passes, and then I move on. And then I feel fine, and then I'll come back again maybe in a couple days or something, or a couple hours. But it's no big deal. It's nothing too crazy. But yeah, like, so nothing too crazy. What's been going on with me in this week? Nothing really insane has happened for me. Heroes get remembered, legends never die. That's really the big thing. I don't know why I keep quoting that line from Sandlot, and I don't know why I talk about that. I don't know why that line intrigues me. I think what's really what intrigues me about that scene is the fact that, like, if you haven't seen it, it's when, was it the Rodriguez guy? What's his name? Something Rodriguez. I want to say Alex. It wasn't Alex because that's John. That was the baseball player. But yeah, he had this dream, and in the dream, Babe Ruth came out of the closet, legitly came out of the closet, because that's how the portal came from, and he was telling them, like, hey, if you want to be known and you want to be remembered, what you have to do is you're going to have to go and get that baseball that's across the fence that has my signature on it. And then then Babe Ruth was like looking through a bunch of stuff, and he took his own baseball card from this kid. It's like, dude, you're Babe Ruth. Like, why do you need a baseball card of yourself? And even though in the movie, Babe Ruth was like, I know this is going to be really weird, but can I possibly have this? I realized he acknowledged how weird it was and how kind of off. I don't know why it upsets me. When I was a kid and I watched it, it didn't upset me. But now as a grown adult, please, it's I'm not a grown, I'm still a child, pretty much a child. And, but yeah, I don't know why it upset me then. But yeah, that was the weirdest thing. And, tequila, not that good. It's really not that good. Alcohol is really not that good, anything. But I kept thinking when I kept drinking, I don't know why I go on these kicks, because I don't ever drink that much. So when I do, it's like a small little spurt, and it's like when someone gets into like the groove of wanting to eat something like sweets, like having sweets in the house a couple of months, like, or a couple of weeks. And that's just me. Like, and then for me, it's like, it's this little bug that it tickles, and then it's going to be gone, but it's really not that interest. It's almost like trying to get it, just drink as much as we can, just so we can get it out and be done with it. Because, like, it's better that it's just done. I don't know why I just poured a little bit in there. It's not like I enjoy it. If anything, I'm like, oh, if I drink a little bit more, then I'm going to feel really good, and I'm not going to have to drink any more of this. I can just drink water. But guys, does anyone know what's going on in this podcast so far? It's so interesting. When I started this episode, I was like, I have all this list of stuff to talk about, but I have no idea what to talk about. Oh, the big thing. I have a mustache now. I think it's the dumbest thing in the world. I was just shaving because I hadn't shaved in a month, and even though when I haven't shaved in a month, it doesn't look that bad. It looks kind of. I look a little raggedy, but it's really not that bad because I can't grow that thick of facial hair. And my facial hair is like black and blonde and brown. It's like 3 different colors, and there's a little bit of red into it. Actually, it's like 4 colors. And when I was shaving, and I was like, fuck it, let's just go all the way down to the thing. I don't like doing it because I don't think I have a strong chin anymore for like a strong jawline. And because of that, like I'm like I look funky as hell because I have such a baby face. So it looks weird when I have like no facial hair now at all. So I like to at least keep like some kind of scruff. But then when I was shaving, I was like, hey, look, there's a mustache. Like, let's just not shave that. I'm like, fuck it, let's keep it. Let's see what it looks like. I personally think that is the dumbest thing. I think mustaches are so stupid. Like, who is shaving and then like they stop right here and don't shave it? And it's like, yeah, I'm going to keep this. This is a look. This is my look. This is what I'm going to do now. This is dumb. I hope you all know that I think this is the dumbest thing. This is dumber than me growing my hair out. Like, my hair out is down to here. But that's nothing. That's nothing compared to this stupid ass fucking mustache. It's dumb. It is dumb. I don't know. Let's just leave it at that, John. It's dumb. But I did it, and I think it's funny. And the thing is, what I noticed when I was taking pictures today, that my right side, like half of it is kind of like reddish blonde, so like it doesn't look. It looks like I shaved like 1/4 of my mustache off in some lights. So that's nice. That's great. That's the thing. Is like I'm 32 years old and I can't grow a full blown mustache, which I don't know. In turn, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it just a thing that I have to deal with at being my age? Like, because I feel like I always felt like when I was younger, I'm like one day I'm gonna be like in my 30s and I'm gonna be like 30 and I'm gonna have a mustache. But I also thought when I was 30, when I was younger, that I was gonna be married and have 2 kids at that time too. But woo, those things haven't happened. Thank fucking Jesus. You know what I mean? Thank Jesus. Oh, that tequila's awful. And but yeah, I have the mustache. Yeah, I just don't know what to talk about, guys. Oh, and it's my phone. You would have thought that I would have put that on vibrate, but so yeah, like, what do I have? Like, I wrote down all these notes, and I remember like when I wrote them, like I thought they were funny, like things like, okay, so I have this thing, like I remember the teacher. I remember a teacher telling me like getting a C in my class is gonna be like a really good thing. Where you had teachers that would always tell you that you would never gonna get like a good grade in this class, like you're gonna be lucky to get a C, and that's gonna be awesome. It's like what are you trying to fucking prove doing that shit? It's insane. It's like, why are you making this so incredibly hard? Like, life is hard enough. Like, why are you being such a cunt right now? And I know, like, I'm foreign, so I can use that word. It doesn't mean the same thing as like if you're born in America. That's my rule with that word. Like, people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you used that. Like, I'm not using it towards anybody. I'm just using it for the situation because I'm foreign, and foreign people use this word. We mean because it means something completely different than when all y'all fuck. It just means like fuck or fucker. It's the same fucking thing. But anyway, so going on, but then I'm like, okay, like I'm 32 years old now. I've lived some life. I've had a Tijuana give me a hand job, a Tijuana stripper give me a hand job, which is a true story. Should I tell you guys that story? Been fired and been through the Great Wall of China. Fuck all this. I'm gonna tell you guys the story about when I got a hand job from a Mexican stripper. So, I was living in Los Angeles at this time in my life, and I would say about 20. I had just turned 21, probably 2 weeks after me turning 21. And a couple of my friends were like, hey, we're going to go down to Tijuana. And, they asked me like, hey, like, would you want to come? I'm like, I would love to. But they're like, hey, like you would have to drive. And I'm like, I don't really want to do that. And so a couple of days went by and I was just thinking about it. I'm like, fuck it. Like, what? I'll drive us down there. Like, I have some money that I've set aside. I'm like, I can use that for gas, and it's only like 2.5 hours, like there and back. And I'm like, what's the problem? What's going to really happen? There's really not going to be anything what could really happen. So, the weekend comes and we pack up and we go down there. It's like, it was myself and 3 other people, and we go to my friend's. My friend was dating one of my friends. He's half Mexicano and half Brazilian. And so we went over to his girlfriend that he was dating, some girl at that time. Her dad is a guave farmer. Like, no, a slight connection to the fact that, he makes guave, which is the thing that makes tequila. And he has this huge, huge farm. And in the very far corner of it, because if you go out on this balcony, you walk into the house and you go onto this big balcony, and you can go down steps, and there's like another smaller balcony, and it's all fenced. But then you can see out into the world. You can go and you can see far out into the land, and there's just like a shit ton of guave. It was so awesome. It was so cool. And we get wasted there, because he has all this tequila, he has all this he has all these cervezas, because he has we went down in the basement, and in this basement was just full of tequila and Tecate. Tecate? Is that what it's called, that beer? The one with the eagle on it? I haven't had that beer because they don't sell it here in the Midwest. Catate. I have to Google this because I have to figure out what it is. Let's see here. It is Catate beer. No. Kate beer. Let's see here. Oh yeah, here it is.
Kate beer.
Kate, yeah. Teecate. Yeah, kate. And so like he had to haul this like big old fucking piles of it. So we just drank that. And for some weird reason, like my friend and like his girlfriend, like she was like, yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with a bunch of my girls and we're gonna go watch a movie or something like that. And we're like, well, that seems kind of fucking lame. And so we're like, well, fuck that. We're gonna go down to downtown Tijuana. So that's what we did. We went down to downtown Tijuana. My same friend that like the house that we were staying, because we were still all staying at my friend's girlfriend's place, and my friend's girlfriend, or the girl that he was dating. And so what we did was we went he bought some cocaine off of I'm assuming it was a trainee. I know you can't use that word anymore, but that's what it was. It was just like a guy dressed. I don't know. The best thing I can describe to you is like it was a guy dressed like in a dress. And the only reason why you could ever think that it was a dude was because he had like a really hard, his facial hair coming in. He had like a lot of whiskers coming in. And so what we did was we're we're gonna go. We went to the strip clubs, and the funny thing is it was two Latinos, so myself and the Brazilian and the Mexicano, and I'm Hondurino, and like his cousin came with us, so it was like three of us, and then we had like two of our white friends that didn't know any Spanish or anything like that, so they just kind of like stood in the back a little bit and they just kind of followed us, and we went to the strip club, and my friend whose girlfriend that we're staying at, like his name's Ruben, and he told them, he's like, hey, our buddy, our white friend, it's his birthday. So they end up having him come up on stage, and they get him stripped down, and he almost gets a banana shoved in his butthole, because like these two strippers that were doing this whole crazy like whipped cream and hot chocolate and like bananas, like they were just basically like humping each other, just making all this noise, this full blown naked, just like whamming each other. It was the most insane thing I've seen in a long time, because I was just so fucking drunk and stoned that I was just like, what the fuck? And then like I had a bunch of cocaine like running through my body too, so I was like, whoa, what the hell is going on? And so we leave that place because like my friend was getting my friend was like, no, I want to go because like I don't like the fact that I almost got a banana shot in my butthole. So we leave that to go to another strip club that's a little more classier, which is weird to say that we go from like a kind of, we basically go to a damn near like just lesbian strip show to going to this like nice classy strip club, which had like they had like velvet seats, they had like all these like nice couches, and they had like all this all of them were covered in velvet. And we were sitting down there, and the stripper comes up to me, or this lady comes up to me, and she sits down on my lap, and she just is like grinding her butt in between my legs. And I'm like, no, I just basically said like, no, ma, no, thank you. And she's like, no, and she just like kind of just kept there and just started staying on me. And then like all she did was like she reached back with her right hand, and she just like put her hand into my pants, and then she just started like jerking me off. And I'm like, no. And then I'm like, no, I don't have any money. I kept telling her, I'm like, I have no money. And I swear to God, to this day, swear to God, to this day, she leaned back to me in the most cleanest English. And this is a Latino woman that, clearly you could tell that she's spent her whole life living in Mexico or like Central America or something like that, and like did not speak any English, was not speaking English the entire time of me and her interaction. And she leans back and she says, don't worry, I got you. And so I took that as, okay, she's got me. And that is how, I hate to say it, but that is how I got a hand job from a Mexican stripper. And but you have to admit, guys, that's a pretty tame thing that happened on a trip to Tijuana. Like much crazier things happened later on that just trip alone. We ended up getting a AK-47 put in my face, so that was part of the situation. So I ended up like looking over all of downtown Tijuana, and like being and like smoking a blunt. And it was just like one of the most surreal, coolest moments of my life, because I'm just like, wow, this is really cool. And I got to see the sunrise coming up. But the big key thing is that I got an AK-47 like shoved in my face, like, just maybe 20 minutes after getting that hand job from that stripper. So, there was much bigger things that occurred on that trip other than just me getting like a hand job from a Mexican stripper. You know what's so funny? I've never like saying it out loud now. It was like, it's like most people, that would have been like the tops of the trip for them, would have been just getting the HJ. But for me, it's like, no. Also, then there was a gun thrown in my face, so that was kind of cool, And the thing is, like, I didn't get robbed. That was the crazy fucking thing. It was just a weird accidental coincidence that happened, that I happened to look like someone that owed someone money, and I had a gun shoved in my face. I swear to God, like, I wish I could tell you that like that was a complete lie. This is true, and it was one of the most scariest moments of my life. But that is also was one of the funniest moments of my life, just 20 minutes prior to that happening. So it is what it is. Things happen. And then I end up like I end up blacking out that night and passing out on the balcony of like a mansion. So, and it wasn't the mansion of the chick that my friend that we were staying at. It was just a completely different house. So overall, it was a good trip. And then to top of the whole trip, my friend's aunt ended up buying it like right up over the border, or right up to the border of California and Mexico. She bought us bagels and orange juice, and she said, "You guys look like you guys need this," because we were partying hard. And that was like just one of the most crazy trips that are the weird things I did throughout college. That was a weird one. That was very, very interesting. I can't believe. Wow. Yeah, I that whole thing though, like, but that's what she was. She was just like the Mexican stripper. She just was like, hey, don't worry, I got you, and she got me all right. It was just like right in front of everyone, dude. I was sitting on this velvet couch, wearing this yellow T-shirt, and just like just normal, like just like pants that I'm wearing now, just these tan like like cargo pant kind of things, like a little stretchy, and then she just like fucking just jerked me off. It was crazy. It was very interesting. And then yeah, nothing. I don't think anything else really crazy happened. I ate a bunch of tacos. That was awesome, because I do remember throwing up that night. I do remember I vaguely remember throwing up, and I think it might have been after. I'm pretty sure it was after when the gun got put in my face and all that stuff. So that was interesting. So I can't believe that happened. I really can't believe that happened. That part happened. It was just a weird coincidence. This guy thought I was someone that I wasn't. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, I have no idea who you are. I'm like, I'm not from here, man. I'm not from any of this place. I'm like, he's like, where are you from? I'm from Honduras, man. Like, I'm not from here. I'm like, I didn't do any of this. Like, I don't know anything. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, I swear. I had to show him my driver's license and everything. He's like, because I had a Missouri driver's license. He's like, Missouri? Where the fuck is that? I'm like, it's in the middle of the United States. He's like, how in the fuck did you get a Missouri driver's license? I'm like, I know people. He's like, okay, all right, well, yeah, I don't think you're the person I'm looking for. I'm like, no, you're not. I'm not at all. Like, trust me, dude. And I'm like, I wish I could help you. He's like, no, you're fine. And he really did. Then he apologized. He's like, I'm sorry that my guy had to put my gun in your face. I'm like, no, I get it. I understand. Like, things happen. When people owe you money, like, you have a way different mindset. So I get it. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at y'all. And, guys, I wish I could tell you that was the only time I've ever had a gun put in my face, but it isn't. There was also a time in Easter in Honduras when I had a gun put in my face. These are just the things that happen when you go to Latin countries, like Spanish-speaking countries. So, just count your lucky stars. You don't have to go to any Spanish-speaking countries unless you want to. That's the reason why it was so funny when people tell me when they're going I'm going to Mexico, and they're like, oh, I'm like, oh, really? You're going to Mexico? You're going to have fun. That's kind of like it's like Mexico adjacent. It's not real Mexico. It's really not. It's not. Or it's really not. You're not really getting the real Latino experience unless you're gonna get a gun put in your face and all that. So yeah, you can have fun on your little trip. Take a little pictures with you and you wearing your little bathing suit that's a thong, and you think you're, I'm being crazy because I'm wearing a thong. It's like, okay, that's fun. It's like your experiences are way cute compared to the ones I've experienced, because the ones I've experienced were fucking insane. So what else do I have that I could talk to you guys about? I had my first panic attack today. It was really weird. I was listening to this guy talk. I was in the gym, and I had just, the edible that I had just hit, and I had taken a bunch of pre-workout, and I was just going down into this deep hole, and this guy was just like, like my teeth, like I have to get a root canal, and like I got one, and then I didn't go back because like they only put a temporary cap on one of my tooth. I'm like, what the fuck you doing? Like, why didn't you just go back? Like, he's like, yeah, like they said it was like no later than 2 weeks, and then like it was 4 months later, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are you doing this? Like, this is awful. This is horrific, dude. Like, come on, man. Like, do better. Act like you care. And that's what blows my mind. Oh, one last story. Since I've already told you the fucking hand job story, I'll tell you this one. So, recently, I don't know if the allergies like that, so my nose has been a little stopped up, and so like I've been sneezing a lot. But like because of COVID and everything like that, I'm like super scared to sneeze around a bunch of people. So I always try to leave the room, or I try to like go away from everyone, and I just try to do it just alone and privately. And I feel like that's the most cautious way of like trying not to like be part of the problem and try to be part of the solution. And so like the other day I sneezed, and I'm like, fuck, and a little bit got in my hand, like some snot was in my hands, and I was like, fuck, because like I didn't have enough time to like go on my arm, so I just went right in my hands, and I had gloves on, so it really wasn't that bad. So I was like, okay, so I took my gloves off, and I was in a place where I was in a hallway where like there's a bathroom right down the hall. So I'm like, fuck, I'm just going to the bathroom. And so I went to the bathroom because I need to wash my hands anyways. But anyway, so like, but my nose was still a little bit stuffy. And like, instead of like getting a paper towel like a normal person, I just like, well, fuck it. Like, I'm like, why don't I just blow my nose in my hands? So what I do is like right in the middle of me blowing my nose in my hands, a black man walked into the bathroom, and he looked at me, and like, I was like, oh shit. And he just like he gave me this look of like, that's fucking gross, bro. Like, but it was like he had a mask on, so I could only see his eyes. So like his eyes were like this, and I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like, I'm sorry, and I'm like, well, I'm already here, so I just do another really loud, and like more snot comes out, and then I just wash my hands, and he's like using the urinal, and so like there's only a shield, so I can still see his face, and I can see his periph, and I could just be like, I could feel like how disgusted he felt. The fact that he was in there with me, and I'm like, and I get it, I understand. And the thing, it was like one of those moments where I was like, damn it, John, like, why couldn't it be anything? Or like, I'm like, world, like, why couldn't this been a white guy? Why couldn't this been an Asian guy? Like, these two races would have understood. A black person, a black guy is just gonna judge, which he should, because that's fucking gross. He's like, because his eyes were like, do you not understand COVID, bro? Like, what are you, like, have you ever heard of like a napkin or something? Like, anything. And I'm like, but I was like, well, I'm gonna wash my hands, and it's like right here, but it's like that is why you don't get lazy. That's why you can't fucking be slipping, because what's gonna happen is a black man is gonna walk in, and he's gonna shame you without even having to say a word. And the thing is, like, I deserve it. I deserve every bit of shame, because that was gross, incredibly gross, awful, horrific. Things like that are why 9/11 happened. It's the damn honest truth, and I get it. And I get it, guys. Well, anyway, so I have about a minute left. And I want to say, if you've gotten this far, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And thumbs up, I guess. Be safe. Follow me on all my social medias at John D. Klauser. It is literally the same name as the name that you subscribe to on this YouTube channel. So anyway, but I hope you guys are safe. Next time you see me, I will have my second shot by then. I promise. But I will talk to you guys on the next episode. Be safe. Wear your mask. Get your shot if you want to get a shot. If you don't want to get a shot, don't get a shot. blow your nose into a Kleenex or a paper towel or something. Do not do it in your hands because a black man will walk in on you and he will shame you without saying a word to you, really. But it's deserved. I get it. I deserve it because I would have done the same thing if I saw it too. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next episode. All right. Bye.